We're going to call the Star City Council meeting to order. It's Tuesday, June 18th, 2024 at 7 p.m. here at the Star City Council chambers. Can you please all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. And for tonight's invocation, we have First Counselor Chad Barnes with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from the Floating Feather Ward. Go up there. Yeah, is that on? Okay.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we feel blessed and grateful for the opportunity we have to live in this city. And we are honored by the stewardship that was placed upon us to look after and care for this land, the people in it, and the city. We are grateful for all those that put forth their time and energy in volunteering and serving and protecting our community and our families. We ask for blessing upon them and their families, for strength, for guidance and wisdom as they go throughout their sacred work. We ask thee at this time to bless all those in this room with a spirit of empathy and understanding, to be able to understand and hear and see from each other's viewpoints. Bless us and guide us in our thoughts and our counsel today, that we may be able to address these important matters in a way that is pleasing to thee. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, roll call.
David Hershey.
Present.
Kevin Wheelock.
Here.
Trevor Chadwick.
Here.
Jennifer Salmonson.
Here.
And Kevin Nielsen is excused absent.
Yep. All right. We'll start off tonight with presentation. We'll start with Chief Police Zach Hessing. You gonna pull that up, Sean, there for me? Thank you.
All right, good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. I'm Chief Zach Hessing, Star Police Department. Grateful for the opportunity to be able to present the May report. Nothing real big noteworthy for the May report compared to the past reports, but that not work. Oh, maybe it's me that sounds weird. Is that better?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to go through the three different types of crimes that we report on. The person crimes, we had only 3 for the month of May, which is really good, compared to April was 14, which is awfully high for a month. But so we only had 3 for May. We had 6 property crimes and 9 society crimes, with a total so far end of May is 109 crimes total here in the city of Star. We look at our citizens' calls for service. We had 364 calls. That's where somebody calls for police to respond. So whether they call non-emergency or the emergency number, they're asking for a deputy to respond and help. So we had 364 calls, and then the proactive policing calls or the self-initiated calls was 1,998. So we're sitting at about 5.5 proactive calls to 1 call for citizen calls for service. So we're staying proactive, getting out there, making traffic stops, talking to people, and trying to get in front of the crime there. So through the select call types, there's not really anything throughout there that as I went through there to look at. We did have a total of 11 arrests for the month of May. 27% of those arrests had drug related, one of them being a DUI. And then there's some methamphetamine that we got off the street as well. It was one of the other couple of arrests that we had. So, and some paraphernalia marijuana items. Total citations for the month of May is 58 infractions and 19 misdemeanors. So we wrote a total of 77 citations for May. We had 0 mental holds. Our code 3 response time for in Star, so within the city limits, was 2 minutes and 53 seconds. And our total for outside of Star, so unincorporated, Eagle, Meridian, kind of surrounding area that's outside the city of Star, was 4 minutes and 50 seconds. So again, our goal there is under 4 minutes for in Star, and we're doing a pretty good job there at 2 minutes and 53 seconds. So I have a few of the crimes, different things here. If you have any questions, I don't know if Mr. Mayor or City Council, if you have questions for me. Nope. All right, thank
Oh
you.
my goodness, that's a record for you.
Thanks, Chief.
That's a nice job. All right, for the fire report. For the fire report tonight, we have Fire Marshal Victor up here. Now,
Please state your name. It says right here. Victor Eastlas, Star Fire Protection District, Fire Marshal. Mayor, Council, I don't know if I can beat that. Guess I could say it's on the screen. If you have any questions, let me know. No, no, thank you for having us and giving us the opportunity to report this month. We do have your May report in front of you. But Sean, if we can go to the next page that was submitted, it's a better capture of what we have going on. So this is going to be our year to date. We have 702 calls to date this year, with the big highlights being that response time. National average, we want to be within a 5-minute response time. That's why we strategically pace our stations where we put them, because we want to have that 5-minute response. So you can see right now it's about 670. What does that have to do with, as far as what's going on? We look at what are the events going on within the community. So we have, traffic with State Street being, or Star Road being closed. That does help out when we start to add more. So, just a little bit over that average. Acres burned 3.41. We'll start to see that number go up, especially this month with it getting hotter out. We, have been pretty busy. If you follow our Facebook and our union's Facebook, you can see we're pretty busy. Multiple structure fires over the weekend, which pretty much taxed our agencies. We're grateful for our community partners that were able to help us. We're happy to report that even though we had structure fires, that our citizens are safe and we're able to get out safely. So with that, if you have any questions on what was presented to you, I'll answer them.
what on these structure fires, what's the main cause for that? And then on their grass fires, what's the main cause? Just kind of curiosity right now.
So, we get a variety of things, Mayor.
Besides fire.
Besides fire.
Right.
Yeah. We're getting a variety of things from barbecue grills that, just aren't being cleaned and are too greasy, start a fire, and they're left unattended. Lithium ion batteries are a big one right now, probably in the top causes of fire. That's why we came to you with the, heat detection in garages. Other things that we're seeing are not necessarily malicious. A lot of it is just accidental. We talked about chickens last year, and one of the big things that we find in the wintertime is heat lamps for the chickens when you're trying to keep your chickens warm. Keeps them a little too warm sometimes. So those are some common things that we're seeing. Electrical as well, periodically.
Cool. Thank you. Any other further questions? No? Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. All right, we'll move.
Number 2.
Yeah, we'll move on to item 5, the consent agenda. Guys, just so everybody's aware, we are removing Star Point Phase 2 at the developer's request on the consent agenda item when we approve those. Yeah, Star Point Phase 2.
Mayor Chad,
Councilwoman,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of 5A, the final plat for Selwood Phase 2, item 5C, final plat for River Park Phase 2 South, 5D, final plat Iron Mountain Vista, and 5E, findings of fact, conclusion of law for Earlbach annexation.
okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second by Councilman Hershey. Any further comment?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, staff made a note that they'd like the River Park Phase 2 renamed to Phase 3. Is that a thing we can do?
John?
Okay.
It's within,
And that's in the
It's in the recommended.
recommended conditions.
Yes.
It's highlighted in our
Yeah.
packet,
well, instead of
So
having
because
south and
it's in-
north, make it Phase 3.
Phase 3.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Should we, Mr. Mayor, should
Any-
we change the title or is it?
No, I
It's in the
think
recommendation, so it
we-
should be good.
you just leave the title as it's presented, right? Yeah. All right. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Do we have anybody sign up, Ryan, for public comment? All right, we'll move on to item 7, the action items. Hey, guys. Man, I'm having a hard time hearing. I really am. We got a lot of side chatter today. So let's focus on that just a little bit. All right, item 7A, the ordinance. Let me ask Chris a question. When we suspended the rules, can we suspend on all these at once? And then go back and read each individual one and approve them?
You could, we just want to make sure that you name each one of the ordinances as part of the motion, not just a blanket, so that it's clear in the minutes
Okay,
that each one was covered.
thank you. Entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey.
should I say this right? I move to introduce and I moved that pursuant to Idaho Code Section 50902, the rules requiring an ordinance be read on 3 different days with 1 reading being full be dispensed with, and that ordinances number 404-2024, Title 8 UDC amendments, ordinance 405-2024, Title 3 Health and Sanitation amendments, ordinance 406-2024, Title 4 Public Safety amendments, ordinance 407-2024, Title 5 Motor Vehicle amendments, and ordinance 408-2024, Title 7 Building Regulation amendments be considered after reading once by title only.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second by Councilman Wheelock. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Now we have to read each ordinance individually though, and approve each one individually. Is this the first one, Sean, right here? Okay, so on in front of you, we did have some food updates that we've been working on since last November timeframe. We did approve them our last council meeting, and this is our ordinances to codify them, just so everybody's aware. So now we'll move on to item A, the approval of ordinance 404. Anybody?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey.
I'd like to move to approve ordinance 404-2024, an ordinance of the City of Star, Ada, and Canaan Counties, Idaho, amending Title 8 of the Star City Code, allowing for repeal, allowing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilman Wheelock. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Item 7B, ordinance for Title 3.
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilwoman?
I'll move to approve ordinance 405-2024, Title 3 Health and Sanitation Amendment, an ordinance to the City of Star, Ada and Canyon Counties, Idaho, amending Title 3 of the Star City Code, allowing for repeal, allowing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a motion and a second by Councilman Hershey. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to Title 4.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Wheelock.
I move to approve, there we go. Approve an ordinance to the City of Star. Where is it?
Here, this,
This
can you
is,
see that?
this is better.
Yeah, read that whole thing.
I move to approve ordinance 406-2024, the Title 4 Public Safety Amendments, ordinance to the City of Star, Ada and Canyon Counties, Idaho, amending Title 4 of the City Star City Code, allowing for repeal, allowing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilwoman Solomon. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
That motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to Title V.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey.
I move that we approve ordinance 407-204, amending Title V, an ordinance of the City of Star, Ada, and Kenny Counties, Idaho, amending Title V of the Star City Code, allowing for repeal, allowing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilwoman Solomon. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. On to Title VII.
All right, Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman.
Move to approve ordinance 408-2024, Title VII, Building Regulation Amendments, an ordinance of the City of Star, Ada and Canyon County, Idaho, amending Title VII of the Star City Code, allowing for repeal, allowing for severability, and providing a date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilman Wheelock. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. On the item 7F, the discussion on the Garnett subdivision. Ryan, do you want to come up here and talk about that for us, please? Don't mess up our new screens.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Council, you have, what I just handed out is a email that I received from Mr. Nielsen today. Just a little background on this. In the packet is a copy of the letter that I sent Mr. Nielsen. Chris had a chance to review that letter. We sent that off to him. Since he has received the letter, he and I have spoken on the phone 3 times. So it definitely worked to get his attention. I've explained kind of what needs to be done out there to him. We've talked about it, and what you have in front of you is his email, and then he and I spoke about this email as well. Basically, the highlights of the email is second paragraph is that the junk guy, as he calls it, the Junk Brothers, I believe is the name of the business, will be out there tomorrow and or Thursday to start removing all of the tires, the barrels, the piles of wood. If you've been out there, there's an old couch that's been dropped off and a whole bunch of other items. So within the next couple of days, those items should be gone. The top paragraph, he mentions that he has talked to Elite Tractor Works, which is his weed guy that's worked on some other properties for him. And that guy is telling him that he can't be out there before July 5. Prior to the meeting tonight, the mayor had a conversation with one of the neighbors over there and then has sent Mr. Nielsen an email and asked him to get the weeds taken care of prior to July 4th. So to have those done by July 3rd because they are a fire risk and the neighbors are concerned about the risk of fire to their property with fireworks and such. He is out of town, was unable to attend tonight because of a prior work commitment. So how I explain things to him is that I would present the information to you and let you know what his plans were, and that if they were acceptable, then I would come back to him after this meeting with what the follow-ups would be and the next steps. And if they were not acceptable, that we definitely would be scheduling him for a public hearing so that he could come back and he could address you himself. And so that is where we're at. Just a highlight on the pictures. One of the things that I had asked him to do a month or so ago, because what we were finding as people were dropping stuff off, was to post the property. And so you can see in the pictures, he put private property, no trespassing, and then he also has installed some signs warning that there's some security cameras in use. One of the pictures shows an empty power pole with the nails in it. And so somebody has come by since he's installed those and must have needed those signs because they took them down. So he is trying, but I think that we have asked him to try a little harder to have the weeds remediated by July 3rd. And so I guess at this point, just kind of ask if you have any questions, and then Mr. Mayor, I'd kind of like to open it up to see what you'd like to,
Yeah.
how you'd like to proceed.
So just so everybody's clear, we've had discussions for quite some time with this development. And it's been very difficult to get this thing cleaned up, and that's why Ryan ended up sending out that note on there. So the intent tonight, we got this like today,
Correct.
right? The intent tonight was to put this on a public hearing in the future for us to have a hearing about possibly vacating the plat on there because he's not following up to his conditions of approval in his thing. I did send a note out to have that done by July 3rd. The last thing we need is any homes over there to burn if that catches on fire from somebody lighting fireworks in that area. The weeds are pretty tall. So I would suggest that, I don't know if we make a motion, Chris, tonight, to have a public hearing on July 16th if the remedies are not taken care of on this by July 5th.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach.
Okay. That's why it's coming before you, so we can do it. Do you have a question? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, do we still own a tractor?
Do we still own a tractor?
Yeah. Didn't we have a tractor for weed cutting back in 2008 to 10, somewhere in there?
I think Bob has a tractor.
Yeah.
For some of the stuff that we're doing.
Can we mow the weeds down and bill him for that time?
We could.
You know what I mean? If it needs to
But-
get taken care of, do we want to
This is what I don't want
go
us to.
back and bill him
No, I
at
understand.
a rate that would be discouraging from having that problem in the future?
My challenge is I don't want to get in the habit of mowing everybody's weeds,
I want to make it
Right.
discouraging for sure.
but I don't know how we can make it discouraging legally when we're talking about fee-based stuff.
Yeah, you can only charge it for what it costs to do the mowing. You can't, I mean, that's just state law. If it has to be reasonably related to the cost of the city to provide the service or perform the service. So you can't mow it and say, we're gonna charge you 10 grand, or something like that, as a penalty. Yeah. Well, the city would get the 10 grand, not the mower, but, yeah, so there's, for a lot of developers, and I don't want to blame developers necessarily, but for people that own land, a $500 bill for the city to mow their weeds, sometimes they're like, great, do it again next time. And so you want to Mayor's point, you don't want to get in the habit of, or get to where people just kind of rely on the city to do it all the time. I think it also, if the city goes out and mows it, it makes it a little more difficult for the city to come back and say, well, now it's still a mess, so we're going to revoke your plat. If the city mows it, he pays the fee, and he says, well, I did everything you asked me to do and it looks good, so what's the problem? So I think it takes a little bit of the leverage away from the city. I think that if he doesn't do anything, and you get to the hearing and decide that you're going to revoke the plat and do that, and then the city decides at that point, we revoked his plat, now we're going to go mow it and take care of it because he's refused to do it. That may be an option at that time, but I wouldn't necessarily, and I realize because of the 4th of July and some of those things, there's maybe a little more of a safety concern to preempt it, but if we can get him to do it by the 3rd, then, that safety issue kind of goes away too.
And it needs to be ongoing maintenance too. I mean, that's the code specifically says that all these properties have to be weed abated to lower than 12 inches in our code, 12 inches or lower. So we're going to start hammering this a little bit more because we can't let this continue to fester in our community like that with the development because it's not safe for these guys out here that are fighting these fires or the homeowners that live next to these developments. So I would just ask that you make a motion to put this on a public hearing on the 16th if the abatement, or I don't know how to word that, How would you word that?
If it hasn't been abated by
If it hasn't been abated by then?
Oh, yeah.
Do you mean abated by the 3rd of,
July.
what if he,
I mean, if it's after the, I mean,
what if
You
you
guys-
did it on the 5th?
well, then we'll have a public hearing and he can explain why he waited.
Okay,
didn't
just
do
making
it.
sure that it's
I mean,
still
uh,
setting a definitive deadline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Okay.
Mayor Chadwick?
Councilwoman?
So I'm just curious, like on our agenda here, it says that it's just an agenda. So can we make a motion?
It's an action item.
Okay,
It's an action
We can-
item to make
okay.
a motion to put it on a
On the-
future hearing.
okay. And then, so if we give them until the 3rd we'd have a public hearing. What's the public notice date? Does it fit to make it work? by-
Mayor, we need
July
15
6th.
days to,
Well,
to
we can,
notice.
we can publish a notice now for that and then always pull it off of the agenda.
Oh,
So your action
Time.
needs to be that you put it on the agenda and then we will
Yep.
notice it. And then if he obeys the
Then we
the
can,
order, then we can always take it off, but you need to have it on.
okay. Yeah. And then, I mean, more than likely, the property will need to be mowed again sometime in
right?
the summer. Doesn't it have one and done? So, hopefully he's aware.
He is fully aware.
Yeah,
He's-
sounds like he is.
So get it on a schedule for that. So, okay?
I'll make a
You
motion.
want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman
I'd
Hershey.
like to make a motion that for this property, that we set the public hearing for the 16th of July. And just go from there. For the cleanup or lack of cleanup of property 669. Yes, and revocation
A plat.
of plat concerning property 6697.
This is completely new for everyone on this, so,
Yes, this is backwards.
yeah.
So for the plat concerning the property at 669 Foothill Drive, Star, Idaho.
Okay. That good, Chris?
Yeah, unless anybody else wants to add 2 more words to it. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we got a motion. We have a second.
Second,
We have a motion second by Councilwoman Solomon. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmons.
I,
All right, thank you. And you guys may see more of these coming down your way, just as an FYI.
If I might, we're using a more effective hammer than just going and mowing the weeds by using our revocation. That's just a tool we have that
That's our
leaves us out of
only
the
tool.
mowing business.
Yes. Correct. It's also a challenge for us to even enforce some of that city code with our prosecutor's offices on prosecuting this. And so there's really not a way this is the only tool in our tool belt we have to try to make certain that things stay safe out there for us. And
Mr. Mayor,
Heidi.
the ordinances that you guys just passed, staff did beef up the requirements for keeping
Oh, right, correct.
those properties clear and given a little more teeth to that revocation ability.
Okay.
I was the one that read that ordinance.
So, Mr. Mayor, to follow up my next step so that everybody is aware, is I told Mr. Nielsen after tonight's conversation, I would send him an email with the decision. So I will send him a decision or an email that says that we are scheduling him for a public hearing on July 16th until such time that he does not successfully taken care of this property, and that if he does, that he stands a chance for us to remove that from the agenda.
Yep.
So, and then I will keep you informed, and then if we need to keep others informed, you'll let me know.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
And that's successful removal by the 3rd of July, correct?
Correct. Yes, thank you. I wrote that right here.
All right, we're going to move on to item 7G, vehicle purchase. So I think it was last city council meeting,
It was.
that we authorized them to purchase that van for the Parks and Rec. That van got sold, so it's no longer available. So do we need to revoke that purchase authorization so it's not floating out there for 18 grand? Okay, so now we're bringing forward a new one that they're actually holding for us over there. for your authorization to purchase that van for them to transport these kids versus us renting the van.
They upgraded our van though, it looks like.
Well, that was a smoking deal on the other one. The cost on these things are about 150 grand, right, normally, so it's expensive.
Does
As
that
soon as I
come,
saw F-550, I knew.
Yeah.
does that come with the star logo on the side of it, or do we
It
have to
will.
put that on after?
No, it will come eventually.
So, Mr. Mayor, does this still hold
We'll
about
add
the
it
same
on.
amount of passengers and?
It's 25 passengers.
So yes, Mr. Mayor, this is a 30 passenger
30
van.
passenger, yeah.
Oh, 5 seats.
Well, we're gonna have a
So that
discussion
it
with Chief.
sits, so that it fits, and we'll have that conversation. This van actually has the wheelchair ramp. And so the wheelchair lift in it as well. And Bob and I went and drove it. We tried to get that last one. In fact, the people that purchased that, they purchased it the night before we got there that morning to look at it. I offered them $3,000 more than they paid for it, and they told me no. I tried to get that other one. I really did. So Bob and I have driven this van. We've looked at, kicked it under the hoods, everything. We've talked through the guys that purchased it. This van's actually coming from a reservation, and it has gone through the federal clearance process, and then they've taken it through, and it's actually in really, really good shape. Bob was really happy with it when he drove it. It's got very low miles on it that year. There's another vehicle that seats half that many people, same year, with half as many miles on it for about another $20,000 on another lot here locally. So I've been looking around, and this has been one that it's been one of the better deals that I've been able to find. So,
Okay.
and just as a reminder, I picked up the van Sunday night that we're currently driving right now, and it was $1,000. So
Yeah, $1,000 a week.
Is that a diesel or a gas?
it is gas.
Yes.
It is gas. The diesels are significantly more expensive,
We don't want to deal with any of that.
and all the
diesel
maintenance and stuff, and yeah.
garbage. Yeah, with the deaf stuff. Yeah, I'd hate to be the city knowing it's taking out deaf.
Just to add, the F-550s is a very common truck used for helicopter fuel transport.
Oh,
So, they're carrying 500 gallons or so, and they go everywhere in those things. It's a great engine and great chassis setup. So I think this will be great. It'll be good to go for the city.
Okay.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Hershey,
I make a motion that we approve you and staff to purchase this van at a total cost of,
what's the total down the bottom?
just
Sean?
lost it, $41,221.
yes.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion second by Councilman Wheelock. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Hey,
Salmons.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item. Huh? Council Wheelock second. Move on to item 7H, the notice of award for the River House paving project. We'll have our city engineer, Ryan Morgan, come up here.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members.
You can move that. Yeah, yourself there.
We are here to discuss the awarding of the bid for the River House parking addition. As we brought this to you just over a month ago, we talked about going out to bid. It adds 66 stalls to our current configuration out there at the River House. And if you've been out there lately, you will know that it's much needed parking space.
It's pretty busy down there.
We received 2 bids, the low bid being $393,541.41, which is just under the budget that we'd included of $400,000. If you have any questions,
Well, and just so everybody's clear, go down real quick. The base, go back, I'm sorry, the other side. Go up, up, up. The base bid for the actual parking lot was 362. And then we had the 2 alternates in there. One was to build a trash enclosure, and the other one was to run the utilities over to the new restroom facility pad at the same time. So we're not opening up the road twice out there. And this still came in under what we budgeted for the entire project for this fiscal year of 400,000. So we're looking for you to authorize us to
Send the notice.
send the notice award and proceed with this project.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Wheelock.
I move that we accept the bid for $393,541.47 to Titan Excavation.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second that.
We have a motion, a second by Councilman Hershey. Any further discussion?
Mayor Chadwick?
Yes, ma'am.
So I did notice that the other bid came in significantly higher.
Mhm.
And so I just wanted to confirm with Ryan with his expert eyes and like that there's that difference in price does not, like everything that we are looking for is included, with what they have. We like,
So I can speak to that. First of all, when we did the pavilion parking lot, that bid came in at 366. So this is a very comparable number to that. Secondly, Titan has done a lot of work for us in the city. We've used them on multiple other projects. They're typically good to work with. One way or another, they know what the other bids were. They've looked at the stuff. They have not backed out of it. So we are comfortable moving forward.
And just so everybody's fully aware, it's a public works bonded project. That's the price that they have to complete this entire project with. If they choose not to complete this project with that, we can exercise the bond to complete the project.
Yep.
So it's protected. That's
So
the
they
beauty of
have to
these.
back out before they sign the contract, or if they don't finish, we cash in.
And
their
they've been
bond.
really good to work with on anything anyway. I mean, and I will tell you my history of commercial construction estimator. You'll see this a lot.
Yeah.
You see some bidders that are high and some that are low. Sometimes bidders will bid just to, if no one else bids it, they just want the job at the higher amount. They may not have the capacity. Yes, sir.
And do we have a bid bond on this as well?
Correct.
Yes.
So just for everybody's knowledge, if they back out at this point after opening the bids, the city can still do the project for that price, hire capital paving, and that bid bond covers the difference. Even whether they sign the contract or not, that's what they bid. And so now that we've opened it and we're going to award the bid to them, they're tied to it. And so even if they walk before signing, their bid bond will cover the difference to protect the city.
all right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Does that help?
It does, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman?
does it have a time frame to be finished by?
Yes.
Yes. They have 75 days for substantial completion, which is basically when we go out and we do a quick check to make sure that everything looks to be done. At that point in time, there's usually a few minor touch-up things that we request them, and they have another 15 days after that to finish up.
And the start date is when?
The start date is, they have 15 days from notice of award, which will go out tonight because I'm leaving town tomorrow and won't be back until next week. So I will send that out before I leave tonight. So they have 15 days from today, basically, to get us all the contract documents in. And then as soon as we have all the contract documents in, that's when the notice of award goes out. That's when the time period starts. So the time period will probably start here about the end of July, or end of June, first week of July is when that 75 days will start.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey. Aye. Wheelock.
Aye.
Salmonson.
Hi.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to item 7I. It's the intergovernmental agreement with ACHD. This is something that we've been trying to get done for a while with ACHD. We have a new director in place, Director Ryan Head, who's been very proactive, I guess, in getting stuff done. And so this new intergovernmental agreement allows us, which we didn't have this before, to actually collect fees for processing their impact fees for ACHD. Just the residential side is all we're collecting. And it also in here requires them to respond to our applications within 30 days to provide the status and information that we need for your public hearings, which we've had a struggle with in the past, getting it in a decent time. So at least here, it allows us to put some teeth to getting that to you folks. So basically, you guys, we just need you guys to authorize us to sign this agreement so I can get it back to them.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
I'm excited about this and it all looks good to me. So I'll move to approve and authorize you to sign the ACHD City of Star intergovernmental agreement for collection and waiver of impact fees.
Okay. We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilman Wheelock. You got a discussion item? Go ahead.
Yeah, I did the math and on the 2.4 with a $20 impact fee that the city will collect.
Right.
Not to exceed 25,000. That's about 1,100 homes.
Yes.
Can that go up in the future as we have growth in the city? And
We could, but that's a lot. I know, I get
we're
it.
getting closer to that number than we think.
No, I understand.
But I saw that number too and I thought, well, maybe that's a way that we can help slow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
If needed.
But 25,000
That
is far
adjustment.
better than the zero that we've received in
No,
today's
no
world.
doubt. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Two things. This isn't a cap on impact fees or a cap on growth. This is just a cap on how many fees the city will collect from ACHD. Because we basically provide the service of collecting the fees to them, right? They're their fees and we collect them as part of our building permit and then send them to them. And so for every impact fee we collect, we get $20. If there's 1,100 of them, then or whatever the number is, 1,250 or whatever, right? Then they cap it at the 25,000. That's the most that they would pay us in a given year. If we get to a point where we have more building permits than that, there's certainly an opportunity to go renegotiate with ACHD and say, hey, we're doing 1,500 homes, 2,000 homes, whatever the number happens to be. We need more fees because you guys are getting paid more, and we can always have that conversation and do a renegotiation at that time. And that's assuming they're still in existence and the state legislature
Right, unless
hasn't done anything to them.
Yeah, that may be 10 years down the road. I was just.
And
wanting
so,
to
and
talk
just to be
about that.
clear that this is a 10-year agreement. This is a 10-year agreement.
Yeah. And we just have to be diligent and redo it because the last one expired a long time ago.
Yeah. Yep. And we were the ones that pointed it out to them.
We're redoing our 10-year agreement 15 years later.
Right. All right, we got a motion second. Any further discussion? We do have a motion second, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson.
Standing, that motion carries. Okay, with that said,
Mayor,
yes.
just a quick report. You'd asked me before, I guess maybe mostly for the council's benefit. You remember we've done master pathway agreements with
Yes.
Pioneer not Pioneer, with Drainage District number 2 and Middleton Mill. We're also reaching out to the Eureka Ditch Company and Pioneer Irrigation District. I've talked to their attorneys. They're both represented by the same firm, but different lawyers. They've gone to their clients to see if they're interested in doing a master pathway agreement with us. They should be meeting this week or next, and then they'll get back to us and let us know. Assuming they're supportive, then we'll be working on those agreements and getting those in front of you. So that's in process. But we're waiting for kind of the thumbs up from their side that that's something they're interested in doing.
Cool, thank you. That's good for the team.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And kind of can I add something along the same lines? We are working on that master pathway plan and there's going to be some public houses and open houses and some surveys and some questions on the city website. So please participate. We want to know where you want pathways, future pathways, and what type of amenities. And we would need the public input to help come up with a great plan that we will all use.
Okay. Very cool. All right, with that said, it's 7:45 and we're at the end of our meeting. We're adjourned.